Hello, welcome back to Blue Collar Watches. The point of this video is I had a subscriber ask me, he wants to buy a nice dress watch. I realize most people don't collect at the level that I do. They have a couple watches, you get your daily wear watch that you wear to work, and you may have a nice dress watch to wear when you're dressed up, suit, tie, going out to dinner with the family, all that. So maybe they have 2, 3, 4 watches, a beater watch, a daily wear watch, and a nice dress watch. Anyway, the question presented to me was, what do I think is the better watch? The Seiko Pressage or the Hamilton? The JazzMaster in this case, because I own one of each. First off, these are both excellent watches. I like them both. This Seiko Pressage is stunningly beautiful. I love that iced blue dial, and that's the primary reason I bought this watch. The Hamilton, I love this dial. I fell in love with this watch when I first saw it. One thing I have to immediately point out is I did change the band on this Hamilton. If you purchase either one of these, the band is going to pretty much be the same. This watch is not complete, this band is not complete garbage, but I'm not a real big fan of these oyster clasps. And both of these came with the pin and collar bracelet. I was really disappointed in the one in the Hamilton because I thought, at the price point of this watch, it should have had a better band. That's why I replaced the band. Okay, let's discuss the Seiko a little bit. The Seiko, this has the 4R35 movement in it. What does that mean? Basically, it's an NH35. The 4R simply means that this movement was made by Seiko, and it was intended to be put in a Seiko watch. Most NH35s, they're clones. I mean, it's still an NH35, but it's a clone. The 4R designation means made by Seiko. This has the H40 movement. This is an ETA movement, but it has been toned down to get it 80-hour power reserve. Instead of this running at 4 hertz, it runs at 3 hertz. I've had this watch a couple weeks now. This watch legitimately runs for 3 days. Pretty impressed with the movement in this watch. All right, getting back to it. This watch has appreciated from everything I've looked at. I paid $330 for this watch about a year ago. This watch is currently selling for $460. As I looked it up on eBay, it's going for $300 used. So, didn't really buy it as an investment, but it's I wouldn't sell this watch for anything less than $300. I would pretty much get my money back. And that dial on there, I just love the dial on this watch. This watch, I paid $439 for. Immediately after I purchased it, the seller increased the price from $439 to $499.99. This watch typically, if you Google this watch typically sells for between $700 and $1,000. You dig around and you look, and you're going to find this. You can find it for $500. This is a legitimate Swiss watch. Hamilton and Tissot are now owned by the Swatch Group. So, but it's still a Swiss watch. Great movement. So, if you were to purchase these today, able to find this from the seller that I bought this from, you could get this for $500. Looking at this watch is now going for $460. If I'm going to spend $500 on a watch, I'm probably going to go with this Hamilton. Primary reason being, this watch has no lume. The Seiko has no lume. It's a cocktail watch. This is also considered a cocktail watch, but it has lume. This watch has excellent lume. This watch has a mineral / hardlex crystal. This watch has a sapphire crystal. This watch has the 4R35 in it. Good movement, bulletproof movement, but really not that spectacular. This watch has the ETA movement in it, H40, 80-hour power reserve. Sapphire crystal, better movement, roughly $30, $40 more, if you can find it at the $500 price point. I do really like this watch. I do get people comment when I wear this watch, because the dial, you know, especially those of us that collect, they'll look and, wow, that's a sharp watch. And then they'll look and say, oh, it's a Seiko? Because I guess they'll, most of the time, think it's something else. And again, the bands, this is an aftermarket band on this. The band on it, it's okay. I don't understand why when you buy a higher priced watch, they put these pin and collar bands on there. I guess, I don't know, is that supposed to signify it's a better watch? It's more of a pain in the ass to adjust. If you're not used to adjusting bands, take this to a jeweler. If you are used to adjusting your own bands, and I've said this before in other videos, get a shoebox lid, or you know, something with borders around it when you go to adjust this. When you put your pin removal tool in there, that collar's going to come flying out of there. Because when I initially did this one, I lost a piece. But luckily, you know, when I removed the other link, I was able to reuse that pin and that collar. But I was able to do this watch. The Hamilton band, same thing, pin and collar, pain in the ass. The big thing with the Hamilton, when I was adjusting it, because they're such a pain in the butt to adjust, I ended up taking two links out of one side, and it just felt lopsided to me, and that's one of the reasons I put the aftermarket band on there. But I do prefer when it sits flush like this versus this. And I'll probably upgrade this band again somewhere along the line. Not that this band is any, I think that was like a $35 band. Nothing crazy. But at the end of the day, which watch, if I had $500 to spend on a watch, which one am I going to go with? I'm probably going to go with this Hamilton. Like I said, I think it's a better movement. It has a sapphire crystal. The Seiko, it is a beautiful watch, but mineral crystal, 4R35 in it. That movement is in a lot of lesser watches, but like I said, the 4R designation meaning it is a genuine Seiko movement. That's all that means. But this is a beautiful watch. I love the dial on this Seiko. I've been wearing this more now since I bought some higher end watches. And not that this is anything crazy, but if I'll have to dig through my my history on Amazon, and I'll put links to both of these. Like I said, I know this is going for $460 now, and this is $500 through the seller that I bought it from. The last time I looked, he may have increased the price again. Maybe he started looking at Joma's shop and saw that everybody's charging $700 for these Hamiltons. Both fine, excellent, exceptional watches, but I think in the long run, probably the Hamilton. And I probably will upgrade this band at some point also. But I've been wearing them more. Now that I'm, like I said, now that I'm getting, you know, more $300, $400 watches, I'm starting to wear these more. I feel like that I'm not so much at risk as damaging them. I do worry about this having just a glass crystal on it, though. It's more subjective to crack or shatter. That's why I would, one of the primary reasons I recommend a Hamilton. And again, I think that Hamilton has a slightly better movement. Well, not slightly, but I think that's a significantly better movement. You know, for $30, $40 more, you can get a Hamilton versus this, but that's Seiko. I love that dial. But anyway, that's it. That's a wrap.